7:49. You know what I mean? Like I told you, when I get the time, let's go ahead and jump in. Give you game every day. I like where I'm at in this process when it comes down to life, whether it be financial, family, spiritual. I feel like I'm at a place where you can actually see the growth as time goes on, because everything takes growth. But today we're gonna talk about, if you stay ready, you never gotta get ready. I think people undermine how valuable this can be. If you stay ready, you gotta get ready. I'm trying to tell you, this is one of the biggest blessings, because being on top of things make things that much easier. You're already prepared, even if the worst happens. Things already happens, but you're already prepared even if the worst happens. If you stay ready, you never have to get ready. I think this is so overlooked when it comes down to progressing, when it comes down to being successful. We get so caught in sometimes what we want to achieve, but not realizing that we got to prep ahead of time to make sure we good. I'm going to use as an example. You staying ready is having the right equipment. So that way, when it's time to do the job, that much easier for you. You know what I mean? Same concept of in the morning, getting yourself together at night, like having your clothes laid out. Keys where they supposed to be. You're not looking for nothing. You know where your phone is. You know where your glasses is. Make a hell of a difference. Like I said, if you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready. The objective is to stay on top of things as much as possible. There are just going to be some things that you're going to have to, when the time comes, you're going to have to manage it the way you're going to have to manage it at the end of the day. But if you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready. It puts you ahead of game. That's one thing that helped me with landscaping this year, was I was already in great shape. So the fact that I don't have the amount of equipment, or I don't have the equipment that I could have to make a lot of these jobs 30 times, 40 times easier, or to cut the time, I technically was already ready, even though I had to burn time, because I was already conditioned. My body was already able to handle the work, the work required to complete the job, like pulling the tarps. Because I'm not gonna say it fake. When you throw wet, it's raining right now. When you throw wet leaves in the equation, it's a big difference than dry leaves. But once again, this is another example of, if you stay ready, you ain't never gotta get ready. Simple situations, making sure before you leave in the morning that the car gassed up. That way you're not stressing about having to leave another 15 minutes earlier than expected, because guess what? You got to stop at the gas station. It's burning more time you ain't expect, because you got to go on. You prefer to go in the store because you don't like them taking $100 out your account. For those who know, they take $100 out generally if you swipe at the pump. But once again, setting the stage and setting the tone that if you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. You will achieve so much more in life quicker by just learning this lesson, man. Stay ready. Have your shoes ready. Have your socks ready. Make sure everything is prepped ahead of time. Same thing with my cooks, bakers. You already know, if you have the ingredients prepped and you know exactly where they are, it makes cooking it that much easier. It makes it that much easier. If you stay ready, you ain't never gotta get ready. Same thing when it comes down to meal prep. For all those keep saying, I keep going towards the foods that's non-beneficial for me. You going to the foods that's not a bit non-beneficial for you because you're not ready. When you stay ready, you ain't never gotta get ready. Don't forget that. When you stay ready, you ain't never gotta get ready. You ready. You ready for what's coming to play. If you take the time to brush your teeth in the morning, wash your face, moisturize your face, you ready to jump on camera. You ain't got the crust under your eyes, and you ain't got, you know what I'm saying? If you stay ready, you ain't never gotta get ready. You ready. You ready. And I want you to understand that you already ahead of the game. Things are that much easier, even if the worst case worst come up, because you still already ready. I need you to understand this. If you stay ready, you ain't never gotta get ready. So do me a favor and understand, preparation is very important. Like, look at the film. Same thing we learned from a lot of these athletes, like looking at film, checking film. Go back in your mind about the property that you had to go through. You know what I'm saying? These little things make a big difference. Like watching film. Once again, it's going into the details of what's needed for you to do what you need to do the next day. This is another way preparing you. A lot of times when I go to these properties, when I walk these properties, I like to go to the property the day before, week before, whatever the case may be, because it gives me it allows me to create a better strategy. So when I get to work, I'm already ready. I know what to do. I know how to do it. I know how to break it down. You know what I mean? That's why I said, like, watch your film. Whatever you do, watch film. Watching film is taking notes, understanding little things you need to do at the end of the day. If you stay ready, you ain't never gotta get ready. And watch out for the distractions. A lot of people love the distraction. Like, we got somebody on here, what? As mad as come on, man. It's nothing but a distraction, dog. Nothing but a distraction. But when you ready and you prepare for BS like this, you ain't even got to worry about it, man. You ahead of the game. You know stuff like this gonna come up, because the internet is a game where it's a lot of haters. You get what I'm saying? I'm not a person that's a fan of hating. I love to block shit. You know what I'm saying? When I see craziness or I see somebody talking crazy, I block them off the. Cause I don't even have distractions like that in my life. You get what I'm saying? It's little situations like that. That's for me. That's like having a fly in the room. We gonna get the fly out the room. The fly is not gonna be able to live, but for so much longer. You're not bothered by little frivolous things like that. You get what I'm saying? That's why I say, if you stay ready, you ain't never gotta get ready. If you somebody, once again, another example for me is when I do content. I have so much content already made. It's not hard for me to post content at the end of the day. Like I said, if you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready. One tool I love using when it comes down to creating content is, instead of trying to create content off the fly, always being around a camera, I like to create content ahead of time. You don't realize content is everything you do at the end of the day. It could be having a conversation with a friend. It could be you wearing a nice outfit, you having fly shoes. Content is whatever you do. It's content. So you don't really have to overthink some of these things when creating content. But if you're ahead of the game by always having that camera on record, telling somebody that, take a recording of this, whether they like recording or not. If you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready. That's one of the easiest ways for me to be able to post the amount of videos I've posted over time. A lot of the posts that I've posted on YouTube is stuff that I've done over the past 7 years. After doing my track record, it's been about 7 years of all of this stuff that I recorded. And you'll notice when I jump on live from the different, hair that I have. One I might have braids, another one I might have a bush, another one I might have a short haircut. You know what I'm saying? But once again, if you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready, because I'm always ready. I'm not scrambling and trying to figure out what to post when it comes down to posting content. You get where I'm going? If you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready. Also, by doing little things like I did ahead of time, where me saying I wanted to be a content creator, me at this point, I don't really want to be a content creator. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like I said, this is just me more so documenting myself, to see my personal thoughts at a specific time, to document my elevation in life. You know what I mean? I do see myself within the next 5 years put myself in a tremendous financial situation that I've never been in before. So this is another way of me documenting my mindset in that process, seeing how I think, seeing how I was feeling, seeing how I was engaging with the people. You know what I mean? So like I said, me at this point, I'm not trying to be a content creator. And then also, for those who have been tapping into my videos that I've been posting on YouTube, thank you again. I always say thank you. You could have been doing anything else in the world, but you decided to tap in on a live or a situation. You decided to tap in and watch the videos. When it comes down to all of the videos that I posted, I'm not posting as a trainer giving information. I'm posting as someone who's showing you what I do and what I'm doing to get in great shape. And another way to, once again, document my process of what I've been doing throughout the years. I want to make things easier for people to be scattered. For those who kind of want the videos for more information, you just tap into the Patreon. The link is in the bio. But if you tap into the Patreon itself is going to have everything sectioned, breaking everything down. For if you're trying to lose weight, trying to tone up, trying to drop your body fat percentage, whatever the case may be. But when I post on to get in great shape and maintain great shape, because I do feel like there is so much information from so many different people, it can be confusing to see what's possible and what's not possible. I get a lot of things in the comments where people say, oh, it's genetics. I'm the fittest person in my family. My parents are out of shape, so I can't say it's genetics. You get what I'm saying? Everybody is something, and this is a true backstory. I would honestly say probably easy about 80% of the people in my family are completely out of shape. Completely out of shape. So for me, seeing that growing up, I always told myself, I don't want to look like that. I don't want to be like that. So this is something that inspired me and motivated me to hit the gym. Another thing I love about, working out is it's a way to improve upon self. You can really truly improve upon self mentally, physically, and spiritually by working on yourself in a different way. Like, working out is tough. Like, this is not something that's just simple. A lot of people think that you just, at the end of the day, you start working out, you know what I'm saying? You immediately get results. You can go to the gym and just do stuff. You got to have a strategy when it comes down to fitness. And like I said, in these scenarios, man, oh my gosh, always somebody slow. When you're ready to go, it's always somebody slowing you up. Me personally, in these situations, you know what I do? I get in front of them every time. I don't care. I don't got time for that. If you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready. You feel me? But me personally, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't ready today. I'm running behind today, unfortunately. I'm running 5 to 7 minutes behind, and I'm definitely beating myself up about that because I should have just got up out of the bed. You know what I mean? I should have prepped myself a little bit better last night. But you win some, you lose some, and then when you lose, always make sure you do the proper documentation to make sure that you're not making the same mistakes over and over again. That's one thing I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of making the same mistakes over and over again. You make your proper adjustments and you go from there. But like I said before, if you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready. If you had the money, if you were saving the whole time, put in the money aside, when it's time to make the purchase, you're going to be able to purchase it. It's simple as that. If it's a point that you stay going to the gym, you ain't never got to worry about getting in great shape again. Like, it's funny that a lot of people are starting their New Year's resolutions and still trying to keep their foot on the gas, even despite me taking time off the gym, which my body actually needed to rest. I talk as if I'm completely out of shape sometimes, but I'm in great shape. Which, another example, if you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready. That's one thing I want you to understand. If you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready. It's so easy for you to get in shape. 1, 2, 3, boom. Because you've been doing it. That's another reason why I want you to stay consistent with doing things. The more consistent you are, the easier these things become. You got to stay consistent. Consistency is really key, mainly when it comes down to anything. You got to stay consistent. You got to consistently do it on a regular basis. Even if you don't like doing it, do me a favor and make sure you either find an X factor as to why you're doing it to keep you disciplined and to keep you motivated. Make sure you always have motivation around. That's one thing that's going to help you stay consistent too, and be prepared all the time, is always having motivation around you. Like, that's one thing I do when it comes down to anything that I follow. It has to align with the outcomes that I want in my journey. Like, even with, like, I don't follow thousands of people. I don't follow every family member. I don't follow all my friends when it comes down to social media, because sometimes what they post is not going to help the outcome of what you want. So you have to be consciously aware of the data that you're receiving and how you programming your personal computer. And your personal computer is programming your mind at the end of the day. You got to be very cognitive of that and make sure you're not pointing yourself in the wrong directions. Like I said, if you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready. So for me personally, I'm about to go ahead. I'm about to train my first client for the day. I'm excited because this is the only client that I have in person today. Everybody else is online. But just make sure you get a better jump on your day than me by making sure you already ready. You stay ready. I wasn't ready today, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the outcome. I'm falling behind. But we're going to make our